After looking at the last couple of practices, how do you feel you're making progress and when you're on offensive drives and sustaining drives, getting into rhythms? And Saturday night, did you afford yourself some time to watch fireworks, or did you go straight to the office and look at tape?
Well, Saturday night, I might have been the first one out of the stadium, so I probably got home before the fireworks finished. I went out there, saw my family for 2 seconds, and said, I'm going to beat the traffic. So, but I heard it was great. What else you asked me? As far as yeah, I think, it's always a double-edged sword, right? In terms of if one side's doing good, that means the other side's not. So I just think that we got to continue to be consistent in regards to guys owning their responsibilities in the detail, we're still getting into this, and we got a lot more practice left in front of us, but there's got to be a level of urgency in terms of you make a mistake, that mistake cannot happen again. And it's whether it's you or within your position room, I think it's imperative that these guys watch what's going on in front of them. So I think right now where we are as a whole team, I would say it's kind of inconsistent.
Was your early family night departure just the byproduct of the off days that you got to enjoy, or
What do you mean?
being able to sneak out early?
Oh, yeah. You're in terms of the next day, yeah, absolutely. So that's just kind of part of the schedule, and I came in early the next day to watch the practice.
What did you think of some of the stuff Savion Williams did yesterday in practice? I know you used him in a little bit of a variety of ways.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. I think he continues to show his talent, and he's got a lot of talent, and it'll be nice once we can get him more instead of a limited role.
So there are still some restrictions on his usage?
Yeah, he's still being limited.
You got to see Jordan in just about any meaningful situation at this point in his career. Is there anything during this phase, whether it's preseason or training camp practice, that you can still really learn about him, or is it just wait until the games get here?
Yeah, I think you're constantly learning, and I think he's constantly learning, and he's got that mindset, which I think you need to have. Certainly, there were some great situations that came up specifically yesterday in practice that I think that we can learn from and get better from. I mean, myself included. So, yeah, I think that you're always learning.
What was the thinking behind the safety rotation yesterday? It seemed like every guy got out there like multiple different ways and spots. And what have you seen from Javon Bullard in particular?
I would say that there's a lot of managing of certain positions based on how guys are feeling. And so that when one guy's not feeling as great, it presents opportunities for others. As far as Bull's concerned, yeah, I think he's had an outstanding camp in terms of, I know you guys probably look at, a one-on-one rep and he gets beat or whatever. That's not what we're looking at. So I think he's done an outstanding job, just in terms of his ability to play within the box, knowing what's going on. He's doing double duty at nickel and at safety. So he's a really good young player that's going to continue to get better and better and better the more he plays.
With Nate out, obviously everybody gets to move up a little bit, maybe get some more reps. What do you think you might have? Obviously, Carrington, but like everyone past Carrington, Bo and so on. What do you think you might have from that young, unproven group?
Yeah, that's what's exciting. Is it presents. That's a great example of a guy not being able to go, and then everybody kind of gets bumped up a spot and they get more reps. So what we're really looking forward to is watching these guys compete once we get to these preseason games. Obviously, you're evaluating it every day, but I'm excited to see when we're out there and we get a stadium full of people, how these guys respond.
During the one-on-ones yesterday, like the defensive guys are like calling out your routes all the time. So is that why the preseason games are important? Because it's going to be less tells and actually have to go play football, so to speak, without.
You can hear them way over there.
Well, they're right in front of us, yelling, different routes that were coming.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not.
What have you seen from Hardman? How does it kind of reflect what you saw of him
he was a kid.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things. He's made a splash play every day, but again, with not just Cole, all these guys, it's just the level of consistency. I mean, and it's little plays here and there of the level of detail that you need to have in order for us to get more opportunity. So, yeah, he's certainly a playmaker, and we know what type of player he can be as a returner. Just still continuing to, I mean, he's new to the system, and he's going to continue to learn and get better and better and better.
It's kind of hard to believe that Romeo's going into his 4th season. Where have you seen him grow the most in his time here?
I think patience as a route runner. I think he's really, he's doing a great job. He's always been able to get off the line, but I think just in terms of the patience of a route runner, and I think, and you could see it was on display yesterday in terms of his mentality when that ball's in the air. He's going to attack that football. I thought one of the great things of yesterday was the one-on-one matchup with him and CV going back and forth. Just two guys competing at a high level.
Matt, at the end of last season, Brian mentioned wanting to be able to control football games more in certain situations. Fast forward to yesterday, I mean, a ton of situational work, including one spot. It looked like almost the exact situation that the Bears were in at the end of that Lambeau game last year. Was that
Very observant of you.
Is that a direct line, though? You know what I mean? Like, there are games that you were in, and it's right there at the end, and you couldn't quite control them. Is that kind of reflective?
I think that was that one specifically that's 100% on me. So that's why you do situational work so that you have a plan in place for that moment, so you don't make a mistake in the moment when everybody's watching, and it costs you games when that happens.
Matt, you had a trio of linebackers yesterday of Quay, Cooper, and Isaiah Simmons. I can't imagine there's been many linebackers with that type of speed in a trio. What does that speed stress from an offensive standpoint as you're trying to go against it?
Yeah, when these guys are locked in, dialed in, cleats in the ground, they're tough to block on the second level. And there were a couple plays that really showcased that, where Coop was able to shoot a gap and get a TFL. But all those guys have the athleticism that we're looking for, and they just got to continue to showcase that, knowing what to do, getting their cleats in the ground, being ready to play, and reading their keys.
With Brenton Cox, even going back to the opportunities he earned last season, just how have you seen him progress during this time?
Yeah, I think he's another guy that I'm excited to watch when we get into the preseason. Certainly, he's had a lot of great plays throughout the course of camp. I think he's progressed as a rusher, as you should expect. And a lot of times it takes these guys a couple years in that position to really get going. So just excited to see what he can do in some of these preseason games.
Matt, will you allow yourself to watch in the preseason games? Or are you going to be calling the games?
I will be calling it.
Pat, Jordan Love shared a story in the Players Tribune about his high school days, his dad, and I just wonder if that means that that's sort of a point in his life now between personal life and growth and all that he's at that next step as being a leader and where he's come from. I mean, what do you see that as?
Yeah, I think he's definitely, from the time we've got him to now, not only matured as a player, but obviously as a man. That one tugged on your heart a little bit. It was very well written, and that's a tough deal that he had to go through, and never want to see anybody have to go through those situations. But sometimes life throws you some tough stuff to deal with, and you can respond one of two ways, and you can either go in the tank, or you can, I don't want to say learn something from it, but you just got to face life head on and attack it and be grateful for what you have. And I think that's exactly who he is and what he's done. And he's channeled his that hard situation in the right way.